Usyk kick ass, right? And I'm telling you right now, don't let them lines, brother, kickbox. Let's be close.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
I'm gonna empty the count.
I've seen Verhoeven, because once this fight got made, I checked him out a little bit. His hand game looks like 52 hand blocks, guys, which is, I don't know, 52 hand blocks. You're a slap box in the neighborhood. But that came out of the prisons, right? Like 52 hand blocks, close range fighting and stuff. And you see it in the street a lot. As Jizza said on Liquid Swords, therefore your 52 hand blocks is useless. That stuff ain't going to work against the best heavyweight in the world. If he comes into the fight with the hand block stuff, Usyk is going to do what he pleases. But he is a 270-pound dude.
Oleksandr Usyk is the problem that no one can solve. He is the puzzle that no one can figure out. And I think the same will apply to Rico Verhoeven in a boxing ring with him. If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match.
There is much more cohesion and unity between the MMA kickboxing world and as opposed to the boxing kickboxing world. Because I've been blown away by the disrespect that has been shown to Rico Verhoeven. By sitting here and saying he's going to beat Oleksandr Usyk, no, of course I'm not saying that. Oleksandr Usyk is arguably the best fighter pound for pound in the world, certainly the best heavyweight of this generation. He's one of the greatest all-time fighters. He's an Olympic medalist. He's a 2-division champion. His resume is
Boxing experts are now sharing their opinions on Oleksandr Usyk against Rico Verhoeven, and the discussion is becoming very intense. Many analysts are supporting Usyk, but different views are still spreading everywhere.
Looking forward just to see what Usyk could do against a lesser opponent. You probably should end up within 2 to 3 rounds.
The thing about Usyk is, guys, he takes things seriously, right?
This is a spectacle. And Usyk, like Chris said, if anybody deserves a fight where they don't have to fight the very best, it's Usyk. He's going to take a fun fight. This isn't a wrestler. He's fighting a guy that knows how to stand up. No one's suggesting that Usyk's going to lose this fight. But Usyk has effectively cleaned out the heavyweight division.
If a guy moves up to a division, as Usyk did, as the undisputed champion, wins another undisputed, he's undisputed at heavyweight, and you beat Fury twice, Joshua twice, Dubois twice.
Right, yep.
You are entitled to what we used to call an in-between fight, as long as you're staying active. He's 30.
Max Kellerman and several others also spoke about Oleksandr Usyk against Rico Verhoeven, even though they accepted that Rico's size and fighting history make the matchup exciting. Neither seemed fully sure he could seriously trouble Usyk inside the boxing ring. They explained that Verhoeven remains one of the greatest heavyweight kickboxers in history, which means he knows pressure, distance, and performing at the top stage.
The whole wide world, Oleksandr Usyk.
The man.
All-time great pound-for-pound fighter, all-time great heavyweight. He's going to defend that title after he beat Dubois twice, Fury twice, Joshua twice. He's going to defend this title. Look, he's entitled to not fight, the top killer in the heavyweight division. But it's super interesting, guys. He's defending against the undisputed heavyweight kickboxing champ, Rico Verhoeven. Okay? Now, this is the site of the fight, the pyramids of Giza. But I think it's super interesting.
First of all, you can't teach size. You can't teach 6'5", 270. You can't teach that, all right? Second of all, whether it's kickboxing or boxing, he still has a pedigree of fighting. He knows what it's like to get hit. And those kicks ain't no joke. I'd rather get punched than kicked.
Right.
So he must have a good chin or good body work. So
And he says Rico's a really incredible kickboxer. But apparently he's like one of the greatest heavyweight kickboxers of all time.
Yep.
So there is pedigree there. But I want to get back real quick, Max, to what we were talking about in cleaning out the heavyweight division.
If Usyk fought at least 3 times a year,
Okay.
and he took out Wardley and Atama and Caballel, then you could legitimately say.
But many experts believe Usyk is simply far more seasoned, more focused, and more advanced technically as a boxer. They also mentioned that after dominating most of the heavyweight division, Usyk deserves the chance to take a big entertainment fight like this before chasing another huge money fight. Later.
Look, you and I both know Usyk. He is a very respectful guy. He has a lot of respect for boxing. He would definitely fight Caballel and Wardley, but there's just not much money in those fights for him right now. He's at the point of his career. He wants mega fights. He deserves it. He's the pound-for-pound king.
He's earned it.
He's an international star, and this is the biggest event for him. You're right.
Usyk deserves it.
I've seen Verhoeven, because once this fight got made, I checked him out a little bit. his hand game looks like 52 hand blocks, guys, which is, I don't know, 52 hand blocks. You're a slap box in the neighborhood, but that came out of the prisons, right? Like 52 hand blocks, close range fighting and stuff. And you see it in the street a lot. As Jizza said on Liquid Swords, therefore your 52 hand blocks is useless. That stuff ain't going to work against the best heavy.
At the same time, Wade Plemons also responded to the Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven announcement. Although he admitted the matchup sounds unbelievable on paper, he also understands why supporters are excited about it. Wade basically suggested that Rico's combat experience, physical size, and knockout strength make him much more risky than the normal crossover fighters people often ignore. But even then, he still feels Usyk's ring intelligence, footwork, and experience against world-class heavyweights should eventually become too difficult for Rico once the match turns into pure boxing action.
It is going to be a fun one. I think Usyk's probably going to wash Rico. No reason, no business he should be fighting for a heavyweight championship in boxing. Yes, in kickboxing, very different. Him coming over and fighting for this, look at what all Usyk has done for the heavyweight division. He fought the best of the best. He ran laps around the division, so he deserves a fun fight. That's fine. I don't really have any problem with that. I didn't have a problem with watching Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. I said, you know what? I'm excited for the fight. I'll watch the fight. I'm excited for this fight. I'll watch the fight. The fact that it's in Giza, that's kind of crazy. I don't even know how that'll work out. I know the last destination fight the Ring did was in Times Square. They better be drinking tons of water because they're going to sweat like whores in church. Don't get it mistaken. He would knock out a lot of boxers, but the heavyweight champion of the world in Oleksandr Usyk, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be very...
Then Shane McWigan also gave his opinion on Oleksandr Usyk against Rico Verhoeven, and he sounded certain that the gap in real boxing experience will decide the entire fight. According to Shane, combat sports may look similar physically, but once the contest becomes high-level boxing, there are skills only elite boxers completely understand. He basically suggested that Rico's durability and kickboxing experience could help him survive early situations. But against someone as complete and smart as Usyk, that difference in boxing ability may become impossible to close toy-to-one.
On Usyk against Verhoeven, obviously in a couple of weeks' time, but yeah, just your thoughts and feelings on that fight.
Yeah, I feel like there's levels to this game. As a kickboxer, he's always going to be up against the guy who's a master at boxing. I don't think he's got a chance.
Tony Bellew also admitted that Rico's kickboxing background makes him a truly dangerous athlete physically. But at the same moment, Tony clearly explained that Usyk is a completely different kind of challenge inside a boxing ring. The type of fighter nobody has managed to figure out, regardless of their strength or size.
Get down, and when it comes to the fight, Rico Verhoeven is a problem. He's a problem, and we don't actually know much about him from a boxing perspective, but we know nothing really. He's had one bout, and you cannot take anything from that at all. His kickboxing experience tells you an awful lot. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work. Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk. It will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yes, it's the second professional fight on paper, but this is a guy whose second professional fight is against the undisputed, unified former cruiserweight champion of the world, the current undisputed unified heavyweight champion of the world. Nobody has been able to touch this guy. It's peak Oleksandr Usyk. He's just defeated a man who's 20 stone and 6'9" in Tyson Fury twice. He's just defeated a record machine in Daniel Dubois, who was on the run of his life. This isn't a guy who's washed up having a comeback fight against somebody. This is a guy in his peak and in his prime. Put that into perspective. If Rico Verhoeven is to do this, it's off the Richter scale. This is bigger than Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. That's how big this is. This would be the great...
According to Bellew, Rico could create uncomfortable moments early because of his unique style and unpredictability. But once Usyk begins understanding the movement and rhythm, he believes the heavyweight champion will gradually gain full control of the contest.
Bully's the bully. He beats everybody at their own game. And the most impressive thing about it is, guess what? He comes to your patch as well. He's the only fighter in the history of the sport that goes to other people's backyards and beats everybody up on their own patch. Unfortunately, he done it to me as well. And nothing annoys me more than when I see fighters don't give him the credit he deserves. Because not only is he such an amazing fighter, he's a wonderful human being. He's a really nice guy. Oleksandr Usyk is the perfect professional. He's a diligent professional. You will never catch this guy sleeping. You have to get out of bed really, really early to catch him out. So for Rico Verhoeven, he has lost, but it's been in the kickboxing world. Oleksandr Usyk is still undefeated. He believes nobody can beat him. Nobody has defeated him in professional boxing ring. He's undefeated, and he enters that ring with a kind of steely look and a demeanour of, you cannot beat me. You even look at him in the face-offs. He refuses to move. I promise you, every single face-off he has, he does not move. He will stand there for 20 minutes. Believe you me, I tested it. I stood there for how long when I faced him, and I just thought, this is ridiculous. It's going nowhere in the end. He put a piece of paper between us, but I turned away. And I just think for Rico Verhoeven, he's never in his whole life come across somebody like Oleksandr Usyk. He's a maverick, he's a unicorn,
Peter Fury, unlike many people who fully counted Rico out, explained that Verhoeven is a true combat sports icon with years of top-level experience. Since Peter has personally trained Rico in boxing for years, he understands better than most that Rico is much more talented with his hands than many fans expect. But while praising Rico's toughness, discipline, and mindset, Peter still admitted that entering a boxing ring against somebody as technically gifted as Usyk is a completely different test.
Boxing record is pretty remarkable. I know he's literally a legend in the kickboxing game. You know, he's got 76 fights he's had. He's won 66 of them, 21 by knockout, and he's only lost 10 times in the kickboxing game. I think that's like having 1 or 2 losses in it. And he's also had a professional boxing bout, which he won by knockout recently. So just his backstory before we get to this moment now, Peter. I remember coming across Rico about 8-9 years ago. I came to your gym in, I think it might have been Bolton or Preston where you had it, and he was sparring Huey.
yeah.
And I remember watching him spar Hugh, and I was impressed. And I remember you telling me, oh, he's a kickboxer. I was like, he actually looks like a decent boxer. So
I've always done the boxing side with him. So obviously he is a kickboxer, and him and his trainer Dennis Crowell, it's a close-knit team, but I've always been a part of their team. So, but I've always worked on the boxing with his hands to implement and blend in with his kicks, because I don't know nothing about kickboxing. So obviously, I just worked on the hands and his boxing ability. But he's been around boxing. He's sparred with a lot of top boxers in the world. He's but ultimately for kickboxing, they've showed me a lot of loyalty over the years, and and it's my turn now to replay that loyalty by getting him in the best boxing shape.
In his opinion, this matchup is no longer only about power or physical size. It is about whether Rico can adjust fast enough against one of the most intelligent heavyweight boxers of this era.
Disputed for 11 or 12 years. Might even be longer than that. But this guy is literally, it's never ever been done before what he's done. I think he's had umpteen, I don't know how many undisputed world title defenses he's had, but he's fought everybody. This is the real kickboxing king, a heavyweight undisputed champion that's reigned for 12 years plus, at the top. So he's fought everybody. So now, he's had every kind of challenge. He's come through that, and with him being around me in boxing as well, because this is for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. So it's fantastic. He's buzzing, Rico. He's absolutely, he's got nothing to lose. He's a real fighter, and he's a real genuine professional guy. He's no mug. Definitely not. No, if you look at his kickboxing fights, it's not the way he fights. So, yeah, this is look, this is no easy task. This is Usyk is like in a Rubik's cube. Look, I respect Usyk, but what I respect Rico, Rico's got it. He's got it all to do there because it's another sport. It's a different sport altogether from what he's doing. Although he's been doing the boxing, and he knows the boxing pretty well, it's still his sport is not boxing. So this is a transition he's got to make, but it's one that he's looking forward to, and it's one that, to be honest, it's one that I'm looking forward to.
And when Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven finally came face to face for the first time, the intense stare down immediately made this crossover showdown feel even larger than fans originally expected.
Kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Yes, listen, it's two worlds, you know, boxing and kickboxing. A lot of people wanna look who win, who best. You know, we have double fans. A lot of people say, hey, you know, a lot of people say, hey, Usyk, you must not boxing with Rico because he's not boxer. It's a fighter. Listen, you know, it's a show. All world, it's a show. We who? Actors. Of course, it's a tough fight. Listen, for me, doesn't matter. It's a wrestler, kickboxer, but or boxer. My prepare 100%. My prepare now is like same for Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, but all my rivals. But I'm not say how it's not good boxing. I training not hard. I more training, more do it new exercise. But sparring partner, we become sparring partner. Yes, different sparring partner who same with Rico, but we training hard every day. Oof.